Hi, this is Danny Lewis, also known as Enzyme Black, and I'm a course developer and tutor here at Point Blank Online, and you're watching Production Analysis. So I was playing around with the Korg Polysix, which is part of the collection, the Korg Legacy Digital Collection. It's a really, really good collection of instruments. And I recognized something when I was listening to the sound. I thought, that really sounds like the stab from Borrowed Time. So what I wanted to do was to basically try to recreate the stabs from the track. At the moment you can hear the original beats looped and then my stabs on top. Now I'm going to open up the filter, have a listen. Going to solo them now. So let me show you the Polysix. Let's go to these. I've got two separate instruments into a group. This is one instance. This is covering the bottom end. So let's have a listen. Let's have a listen to the high. Let me open the filter so you can really hear that properly. Put them together. So I wanted to get behind the sound. I wanted to work out what's going on. If you take a look at the preset, because this is a preset called Brave Arp, what's happening is there is an arpeggiator here going on. You can see the actual grid division is 16th. It says it's going over a range of 2 octaves and it's going up and down. Now the other thing about this is you take a look at the key assign mode, it's got a chord over here. Now basically what's happening is for every single note there are multiple notes being created, and if you checked some of my videos before you'll have seen that I've used the actual chord MIDI device inside Ableton Live to replicate this effect. So what I'm going to do in the next section is to explore some possibilities, look at some things that we could perhaps change with the settings here and then do something original based on this whole concept that's coming from Kerri Chandler's Borrowed Time. So let's get inside the sound on the Polysix. On the left hand side of the spectrum we are down at 12 Hz, and on the right hand side we're up to 22.1 kilohertz. So that's a very large range. A lot of people would say that we hear from 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So just in a nutshell, you've got sub bass on the left, bass, mids, and then high frequencies over here on the right hand side. So I'm going to trigger the sound. You can see it's a very rich sound. It's got plenty of low frequency, mid and high frequency energy. Now at the moment this is being moved by a couple of things. So we've already established that there's an arpeggiator which is creating some rapid notes. I'm going to turn this off. So we've got a more sustained sound, but there is still some movement. Take a look at the frequency energy over here, pulsing up and down. So that's the high frequencies. So this is the cutoff frequency up here. I'm going to reduce it. Take it higher. We've still got the movement going on. Now we can adjust how much that is being modulated by the amount over here. This is pretty much the LFO section, okay, even though it's called MG. So I'm going to increase. So we're going higher and we can go lower. We can increase the speed by adjusting here. That's quite nice. I'm not really going for something like a dubstep kind of wobble, but I think something like that could be quite nice. But what I want to do is I want to delay this. So I don't want the LFO to start straight away. So we can increase this. You hear that? So if we hold the key down for a longer period of time, we're going to get the wobble occurring. Let's come over to the filter section here. Let's take this cutoff frequency down. Let's do a little bit of fine tuning. Increase the intensity. Now this is all tied into the section over here. Let me show you something. If we slowly attack, so we create that nice kind of rising vibe. At the moment, if we want to take it down slower, we can increase the decay time, or we can go faster. Nice, quick, short, sharp sound. I think it's working quite nicely. So let me play a beat and see how that feels. So I think that's working well. Let me just record it in and then I'll fine tune the sound after. Just want to start fine tuning this. Think about possibilities for modulating and setting up with macros. That sounds nice with more resonance. Also, what I'm going to do is try the arpeggiator. Now this is with a grid division that's different to the original. That's working nicely. Let's try a different mode for the arpeggiator. Interesting, let's try up. Now this is interesting because what it's done is it's created this really interesting bassline kind of flavor. Just going to turn this up my side. Now that's working really nicely, but what I feel I want to do is add a ping pong delay onto this and just make sure that the low frequency energy is taken away because I don't want it to be bouncing around too much with the bass. I'm going to take the dry wet mix down a bit and take the feedback down too. Let's see how that feels. Now that's really nice, but also maybe a switch of the waveform. So you can choose the actual waveform types here, what's defaulting to the saw. Let's try the pulse wave, which we would class as a square wave. So that's working really nicely. So what I would want to do is just set this up so that we can do some automation control. And one of the great things you can do with live and third-party plugins is to basically set this up. You can see the little control here that we've got for turning the actual plugin screen on and off. We've also got this arrow here, and we can click on configure and we click on the parameter we want to assign, and you can see that set up now. So you can see here VCF cutoff. So that's the control that I was modulating there. And maybe let's just add a little bit of the resonance on there and potentially the intensity too. So these are some controls that we can use in the rack. So I set this up, select these together, right click, go down to group. And now with these controls, let me expose the macros. Let's right click on this one, map it to macro 1, take this macro 2, take this macro 3. And what we can do now is we can adjust the range, of course, but I'm actually going to set this up so that I've got similar to how I had this before. And we can start working with that in real time. I can't remember precisely with the EG actually, so let's have a listen. So it's working really nicely, and we can take this away. And this is our new synth that is inspired, of course, by the Kerri Chandler Borrow Time track, but has become something brand new that we could complete our track with.
At Point Blank Online, you've got two methods of interaction with your tutor. Firstly, you've got the weekly online masterclass, which is in real time. And then also we've got feedback on your assignments, and that's known as DVR.
So the online masterclass is a 1-hour session you get with your tutor every week. You can ask questions about the lesson content and get instant feedback, and also demonstrations on the fly from their computer desktop with our streaming technology. DVR stands for Direct Video Response, and the concept is really simple. You upload your Ableton, Logic or Cubase project file to your tutor, he downloads it and then pushes record on the screen capturing software and evaluates your work. So basically giving you one-to-one feedback You see all of the mouse movements and any parameter changes made by your tutor. It's kind of like sitting in the studio over their shoulder watching what they're doing whilst they work. We have found the DVR process has truly revolutionized the way that we teach online, and the results speak for themselves. Book your place on a course now by visiting pointblankonline.net.